Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Learn India 24/7. In this video, let's discuss and understand about below Six Sigma case study. So let's begin.
So friends, let's understand the brief background of the project before proceeding further. The strategic sourcing department of the company has generated $10 million in the savings. Employees in strategic sourcing department of the company are burdened with the work of issuing purchase orders. The time spent on this work represents the loss in sourcing department's ability to affect the company's bottom line. Then company's Six Sigma team moved further to create a project charter. In project charter, project title was defined as reduction of requisition to purchase order cycle time. So if the sourcing department can increase the productivity per buyer by 6 POs per month, this would result in 9,485 hours or 4.5 FTE savings. So in the next stage, the company's Six Sigma team defined the problem statement for the project. The problem statement was defined as 85% of purchase order require manual intervention by buyers, and company does not have a consistent process for the creation of purchase orders. So in the next stage, company's Six Sigma team defined the scope for the project. Manual requisition created by purchaser were in scope. International POs and POs generated directly from an online catalog were out of scope. So friends, in the next step, the company's Six Sigma team defined the project goal. The project goal was defined as within 3 months, create a consistent, documented and repeatable process for creation of purchase orders.
Further to project goal, Six Sigma team developed a CTQ Drill Down diagram. CTQ Drill Down diagram was analyzed to identify key impacting parameters. So the cycle time was interfering with sourcing associates' ability to contribute towards company's bottom line, and multiple FTEs were needed to issue purchase orders, creating inconsistency in cycle time. So in the next step, Six Sigma team created SIPOC diagram in order to analyze the as-is process at high level. The SIPOC analysis begins with an email that is distributed to all sourcing associates. Since the categories for each sourcing associates are blurred, it's a challenge for each associate to know whom to send PO. So in the next step, voice of customer analysis was carried out. In order to carry out same, one question survey was conducted to about 170 employees, those who issue the most requisition throughout the company. So part of POC analysis, the question asked was, how long does it take a procurement team to process a fully approved requisition into a purchase order? The answers recorded were as below. 41% mentioned less than a business week. 31% responded with 2 weeks. 24% responded saying it will take 1 month. And 4% responded saying it will take longer than a month. In the next step, voice of business analysis was carried out. Part of the analysis, a similar question was asked to assess the voice of business. The question asked was, what is your desired time frame? How long it should take procurement to issue a fully approved requisition into a purchase order? 72% responded saying that it should take less than a week or 5 business days. Six Sigma team further developed the As-is process map. As-is process map has many failure points, and there are more than 40 steps in the current process, which has direct impact on cycle time. In the next step, team developed the communication plan and shared the same with project stakeholders. With this, team completed all the deliverables in define phase and advanced into measure phase. Changes to the project charter were made after having discussion on potential impact of the project. If the team can increase the productivity per buyer by 6 POs, this would result in a 13.6% increase in POs per buyer. And this in turn would allow sourcing associates to focus on strategic activities, which should increase the productivity by 13.6% and result in an additional 5.5 million in savings. PeopleSoft requisition that were manually sourced were installed. And current catalog, auto-sourced and interface POs were out of scope. In order to make the current process efficient, it was necessary to review the As-is process map. So subsequently, team reviewed the As-is process map to identify non-value added steps. The non-value added steps couldn't necessarily be immediately eliminated. A complete reconfiguration of process was needed.
While identifying non-value added steps, the team identified that the current complicated workflow has high number of potential failure points. So the red process steps represented non-value added steps that do not contribute towards the completion of the activities. The yellow process steps represented value enabled steps, steps that were added to satisfy the customer requirement. The green steps represented value added steps, steps that contribute towards the completion of the process. The review of as-is process map revealed two key findings. First, the 23 out of 43 steps were determined as non-value added steps, and almost half of the process steps were responsible to determine how to distribute requisition to correct buyer. With this analysis, now the focus shifted from time to complete the PO to the number of days it took before the PO was dispatched to the supplier. The measurement plan included the total number of minutes spent processing purchase orders. With current analysis, it became clear that the actual time spent producing the PO is irrelevant because the bottleneck is at distribution phase. So at this point of time, we couldn't meet our client's requirement unless the distribution issue is fixed. Now it becomes very clear that 40 steps process is breaking down in the distribution of requisition to the buyers. While the mean number of days for 2015 and 2016 was relatively low, 3 and 2 respectively, the standard deviation was altogether a different story. The standard deviation for the distribution of requisitions to buyer for the year 2015 was at 12 and 4.5 for the first half of 2016. This meant that the upper specification limit of 5 days was exceeded by a whopping 47% for 2015 and 33% for the year 2016. Almost half of the POs that were being issued went beyond the acceptable service level of 5 days. Further, Six Sigma team developed the Fishbone Diagram to highlight the potential problem areas. In the next stage, Six Sigma team circled the atoms on Fishbone Diagram to find how likely each issue is affecting the cycle time of purchase order.
With the completion of Fishbone Diagram, Six Sigma team completed all the deliverables in the measure phase and moved further into analyze phase. So further, Six Sigma team plotted the summary report for the cycle time from last measure phase to the target presentation for analyze phase. The average queue time shows a mean value of 2.1 days, but a large standard deviation of 9. This means that 44% of purchase orders that were being sourced were outside the upper specification limit of 5 days. Now it was the time for the team to start with root cause analysis. So team created a table with potential root causes on one side and respective hypothesis tests to be carried out on another side of the table. So further, when hypothesis tests were completed, the results showed some areas with existing correlation and some areas with minor or no correlation. Queue time is the amount of time a requisition sits in the queue before it is manually distributed for sourcing to a purchase order. The faded line graph was plotted between purchase order creation time and queue time. The analysis showed up a mean queue time of 7 days, which is already above the upper specification limit for the entire cycle time. There were various issues with this distribution method. What if the designated buyer is out of office during their specified week? What if the associate receiving the requisition to source is out of office? And what if other responsibilities cause a delay in a day or two when associates are passing out the requisitions? Once requisitions are directed to the correct person, they are sourced quickly and queue time is simple. Improved queue time showed a mean of 2.1 and standard deviation of 2.7 days. It is clear by this time that automation in the distribution of purchase order will help to clear up the cycle time issues. After thorough analysis of requisition distribution and cycle time relationship, the Six Sigma team came up with potential improvement solutions. The first one was to redesign the team's distribution queue so that they no longer require manual distribution. Then work with ERP system teams to automate distribution of requisitions based upon coding, dollar amount, etc. And then finally, all requisitions to be sourced through the procurement to pay P2P team. Some requisition categories that do not require manual intervention to be auto-sourced. And strategic sourcing associate team members are now in the requisition approval chain for both reviews and approvals. Next, create dashboard and work centers to allow associate to see all the requisition in one place and for managers to see the length of time a PO has been in the queue. So further, Six Sigma team created a detailed implementation plan for all major changes. Now each manager is required to assign an employee to each category so that the system will automatically route the requisition to their workspace. It is then either auto-source or goes directly to P2P team's queue. So all the requisitions that enter the P2P queue by 2 p.m. IST are sourced on the same day. If in the case sourcing associate is out of office, their manager can approve the requisition on their behalf. Moreover, the associate can also delegate approval to a proxy if necessary. Further, Six Sigma team created detailed work instruction and communication plan and shared the same with all key stakeholders. So, friends, before implementation of improvements, the mean time to issue a purchase order from fully approved requisition was 7 days with a high standard deviation of 15 days. So after implementation of all improvements and at approximately 2.5 months after deployment of all the changes, the mean shifted down to 2 days and the standard deviation reduced to 3 days. So finally, the results were as below. The initial project goal became absolute due to significant improvement made during the implementation of this project. The purchase orders per associate ratio increased from 44 POs per associate to 56 POs, far exceeding initial project goal. Shift from focus on processing tactical work to a strategic work. Each manager has a built-in dashboard that shows every employee that reports to him the number of POs in the queue waiting for the approval. Managers have the ability to see the bottleneck in real time and can shift requisition to other associates to ensure no one person is overlooked. Several areas that were previously manually sourced were able to be shifted to catalogs and thus were auto-sourced. More specialized knowledge about requisition categories was developed, which helped to negotiate and develop relationship with other business units. So friends, finally we have come to an end of this video. I have used references from isixsigma.com portal and ASQ Six Sigma Black Belt Handbook. In the next video, we will discuss on another Six Sigma implementation case study. So friends, if you have liked this video, do subscribe to my channel and do not forget to press bell icon to get further updates from my channel. So finally, thanks for watching and bye.